Next topic, ecological models are also important tools for decision making and management. By using models to explore the consequences of different management strategies, policymakers can make informed decisions about how to best protect biodiversity and ecosystem function. An example of the importance of ecological models is in the management of fisheries. By using population models to predict the effects of different fisheries quotas on fish populations, policymakers can make decisions that balance economic benefits with conservation goals. In summary, ecological models are important tools for understanding and predicting ecological phenomena, exploring the consequences of management strategies, and making informed decisions about the conservation of biodiversity and ecosystem function. Then, cybernetics of ecosystem. Cybernetics is a branch of systems theory that deals with the study of feedback systems and their regulation in the context of ecology. Cybernetics of ecosystems refer to the study of feedback loops in natural ecosystems and their regulation to maintain stability and homeostasis. One of the key concepts in cybernetics of ecosystems is that of feedback loops. Feedback loops are mechanisms that allow for the regulation of a system by adjusting its inputs and outputs based on changes in the environment. There are two types of feedback loops, positive and negative. Positive feedback loops amplify the effects of a disturbance, leading to destabilization of the system. On the other hand, negative feedback loops counteract the effects of a disturbance and promote stability. Then, the cybernetics of ecosystems has many applications in ecology, including the study of population dynamics, community interactions, and ecosystem functioning. For example, the Lotka-Volterra model is a classic example of a cybernetic model of predator prey interactions. This model describes how the populations of predators and prey are regulated by feedback loops that operate through changes in population sizes. Then, another example of the application of cybernetics in ecology is in the study of ecosystem resilience. Ecosystems are composed of many interconnected feedback loops, and disruptions to these loops can lead to instability and collapse. The understanding of these cybernetic mechanisms that regulate ecosystems, researchers can develop strategies for maintaining ecosystems resilience in the face of environmental change and human impacts. Overall, the study of cybernetics of ecosystems is important for understanding how natural systems function and how they can be managed and conserved. By applying the principles of cybernetics to ecological systems, researchers can gain insights into the complex dynamics of ecosystems and develop strategies for promoting their health and resilience. Biogeochemical cycles. So, biogeochemical cycles are the natural processes that recycle and transfer essential elements and compounds such as carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, and water along the living and non living components of the Earth's ecosystem. These cycles are fundamental to the functioning of ecosystems and the maintenance of the Earth's biogeochemical balance. Then, carbon cycle. The carbon cycle is the process by which carbon is exchanged between the atmosphere, land, ocean, and living organisms. The major reservoir of carbon include the atmosphere, oceans, land, and living organisms. Carbon is exchanged between these reservoirs through a series of complex physical, chemical, and biological processes. The key processes include photosynthesis, respiration, combustion, decomposition, and carbon sequestration. Then, nitrogen cycle. The nitrogen cycle is the process by which nitrogen is converted from its inert atmospheric form into a biologically useful form such as ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. The nitrogen cycle, like NH3 and O2 and NO3. The nitrogen cycle consists of several processes including nitrogen fixation, nitrification, denitrification, and ammonification. Nitrogen fixation is the process by which atmospheric nitrogen is converted into ammonia by bacteria, and ammonification is the process by which organic nitrogen is converted into ammonia by bacteria. Then, phosphorus cycle. The phosphorus cycle is the process by which phosphorus is recycled and transferred between the biosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere. Phosphorus is an essential nutrient for all living organisms and is primarily found in rocks, minerals, and soil. The main process involved in the phosphorus cycle include weathering, erosion, sedimentation, and assimilation by plants and animals. Then, water cycle. The water cycle is the process by which water is cycled and recycled between the atmosphere, land, and oceans. The key processes include evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and transpiration. Evaporation is the process by which water is converted from a liquid to a gas. and enters the atmosphere, while condensation is the process by which water vapor is converted back into the liquid. Precipitation is the process by which water returns to the earth's surface in the form of rain, snow, or hail. Hail and transpiration is the process by which water is released from plants into the atmosphere. Biogeochemical cycles are important for maintaining the balance of nutrients and energy within ecosystems. They regulate the availability and distribution of essential elements and compounds that are required for the growth and survival of living organisms. Human activities such as deforestation, industrialization, and agriculture have disrupted biogeochemical cycles, leading to nutrient imbalances, eutrophication, and climate change. Understanding biogeochemical cycles and their interactions is essential for the conservation and management of natural resources and ecosystems. The burning of fossil fuels release carbon into the atmosphere, leading to increased atmospheric CO2 level and climate change. Then excessive use of nitrogen fertilizers in agriculture can lead to eutrophication of water bodies and harmful algal blooms. Then deforestation and land use changes can disrupt the water cycle and lead to changes in precipitation patterns and runoff. Mining and agricultural activities can disrupt the phosphorus cycle and lead to soil degradation and erosion. Altruism. Altruism is a type of behavior that benefits others at a cost to oneself. In biology, this is referred to as the altruism paradox, as it is difficult to explain why an organism would behave in a way that appears to be detrimental to its own fitness. Altruism is commonly observed in social animals such as ants, bees, and certain primates, where the welfare of the group is prioritized over the individual. Major points include altruistic behavior, as involves a cost to the individual performing the behavior and a benefit to the recipient of the behavior. Kin selection theory proposes that altruism can be explained by the fact that the altruistic behavior benefits close relatives who share genes with the altruist. Reciprocal altruism theory suggests that altruistic behavior can be explained by the expectation of future benefits from the recipient of the behavior. Then group selection theory proposes that altruistic behavior can be explained by the benefit to the survival and reproductive success of the group as a whole. For example, in social insects like ants, bees, and termites, non-reproductive members of the colony, like sterile workers, engage in altruistic behavior to support the reproductive members, queens and drones, and to protect the colony. Vampire bats regurgitate blood to feed other bats in the colony who were unsuccessful in finding a meal. This behavior is thought to be driven by reciprocal altruism, as bats that share food are more likely to receive help in the future if they need it. Meerkats engage in sentinel behavior, where one member of a group stands watch for predators while the others forage for food. This behavior is an example of altruism, as this sentinel is putting itself at risk to benefit to the group as a whole. Importance: understanding the evolution and function of altruistic behavior has important implications for understanding social interactions and cooperation in animals, including humans. It can also inform conservation efforts and management of social species. Then evolution of Homo sapiens and horses. The evolution of Homo sapiens and horses is a fascinating topic, as both species have undergone significant changes over millions of years. So when we just try to learn the evolution of Homo sapiens, we can see Homo sapiens, also known as modern humans, evolved approximately 300,000 years ago in Africa. The process of human evolution can be divided into several stages, like Australopithecus. I'm not sure about the pronunciation. Australopithecus, the first stage of human evolution, is represented by the genus Australopithecus, which emerged approximately 4 million years ago. These early human ancestors were bipedal, meaning they walked on two legs and had small brains. Then Homo habilis. The next stage of human evolution is represented by the genus Homo, which emerged approximately 2.8 million years ago. Homo habilis had larger brains than Australopithecus and was the first species to use stone tools. Homo erectus. The third stage of human evolution is represented by Homo erectus, which emerged approximately 1.8 million years ago. This species was the first to migrate out of Africa and had a larger brain than its predecessors. In Homo neanderthalensis, The fourth stage of human evolution is represented by Homo neanderthalensis, which emerged approximately 400,000 years ago. The species had a larger brain than Homo erectus and was adapted to living in cold environments. Then Homo sapiens. The final stage of human evolution is represented by Homo sapiens, which emerged approximately 300,000 years ago. The species had a larger brain than its predecessors and was capable of creating complex tools and language. Homo sapiens eventually migrated out of Africa and populated the rest of the world. Next, evolution of horses. The evolution of horses, also known as equids, can be traced back approximately 55 million years to a small dog-like creature known as Hyracotherium. The process of horse evolution can be divided into several stages. Like Hyracotherium, the first stage of horse evolution is represented by Hyracotherium, which emerged approximately 55 million years ago. The species was about the size of a fox and had 4 toes on its front feet and 3 toes on its back feet. Then Mesohippus. The next stage of horse evolution is represented by Mesohippus, which emerged approximately 40 million years ago. The species was about the size of a small dog. And Mesohippus. This species was about the size of a small dog and had 3 toes on the front feet and 3 toes on its back feet. Then Parahippus. Mesohippus, then Parahippus. The third stage of horse evolution is represented by Parahippus, which emerged approximately 25 million years ago. This species was about the size of a modern pony and had 3 toes on its front feet and 1 toe on its back feet. Then Merychippus. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but the fourth stage of horse evolution is represented by Merychippus, which emerged approximately 17 million years ago. The species was about the size of a modern horse and had 3 toes on its front feet and 1 toe on its back feet. Then Equus. The final stage of horse evolution is represented by Equus, which emerged approximately 4 million years ago. This species is the ancestor of modern horse and had a single toe on its front and back feet. Equus. Importance of evolution of Homo sapiens and horses. The evolution of Homo sapiens and horses has been critical in shaping the world as we know it today. Homo sapiens have dominated the planet due to their intelligence and adaptability, while horses have played an important role in human history as a mode of transportation and agriculture. Studying the evolution of these species allows us to understand the process of evolution and how species adapted to changing environments over time. It also provides insight into other topics. So when we just once again learn that the evolution of Homo sapiens and horses are 2 distinct stories. So first, Homo sapiens, modern humans, are believed to have evolved around 300,000 years ago in Africa from earlier hominid species such as Homo erectus and Homo habilis. One of the key features that distinguishes Homo sapiens from other hominids is their larger brain size and increased cognitive abilities, which enabled them to develop language, create complex tools, and form complex social structures. The evolution of Homo sapiens can be broken down into several major stages, including Australopithecus. This early hominid species lived in Africa around 4 to 2 million years ago and had a combination of ape and human-like characteristics. They were bipedal and had the ability to walk upright but had a small brain and lacked the cognitive abilities of later hominids. Then Homo habilis. The species lived in Africa around 2.4 to 1.4 million years ago and was the first to use tools, which were simple stone implements for cutting and chopping. Then Homo erectus. The species lived in Africa and Asia around 1.9 million years ago and was the first to leave Africa and colonize other parts of the world. They were also the first hominids to use fire.